Now I'm going to walk you through how to run the frequencies procedure. So the frequencies is used to find the number and percent of a data set that are included in each category of either a nominal or ordinal measured variable. Like I said before, it can show all these other kind of values and more that we're not going to use, but it can also create simple charts. So to do this frequencies procedure, you're going to click on Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies, and once you click on Frequencies, the next slide will pop up. This screen will pop up once you click on that frequencies. So here you'll see a list on the left of the variables in your data set. You'll select whichever variable you're interested in getting the count frequency, the number and percent, and click on it. Click that middle arrow button, and when you do that, it will bring it over to the variable column. And then we will also want to make sure that the display frequency tables box in the bottom left is checked off. Then we will click on OK, and then once you click on OK, you'll get output. The output of a basic frequencies procedure looks like this on the screen here. So at the top it says frequencies, then we have our statistics, which just show the number that's valid and missing. So in this case, the number valid is the total number in our data set or sample size. This is 175 for this particular data set. For this class, we always want to check that there's 0 for people missing. If you run this procedure and it shows some number other than 0 as missing, something went wrong. The next part is where it has marital status, and it has the columns of frequency, percent, valid percent, and cumulative percent. Each category of the variable that we chose, which was marital status, is shown here, along with the frequency, which is the number who responded with that particular response, as well as the percent that responded with that response. So in this case, 56 individuals, or 32%, responded that they were not married for this study. Something else I want to point out is that the valid percent in this case is the same as the percent. It would be different if we had missing data, and then you would want to report the valid percent. But for this class, there will not be missing data, so you should always report those two numbers in percent and valid percent should match for this class. Just moving forward in your future, you may run into missing data, and then you would want to report the valid percent instead. Some other options in the frequencies procedure, besides just getting that table with the number and percent, as well as the valid number missing, and then the number, percent, valid percent, are shown in this the next couple of slides. So here, if we click on the statistics button in the top right corner, we see this new screen pops up, and there's a ton of options here. So we could check off any of these that we're interested in having calculated. So most often we're going to use things like the standard deviation and mean. If we have continuous variables, if we have a nominal or ordinal measured variable, that's going to make no sense when you get that result. But when you check off any of these, you want to make sure you hit continue instead of cancel, or they won't show up in your output. Now, if you want to do some charts, you can see there's a few simple charts. So if you hit charts and then this frequencies charts box pops up, you have the option of making a bar chart, a pie chart, or a histogram with either frequencies or percents based on whatever you are interested in. We're not really going to do it too much with this in this first day of SPSS, but this is something that's there so you are aware. And again, make sure when you click on one of these, you hit continue so that it shows up in your output. So if we did check off the mean, median, standard deviation, range, and percentiles, as well as making a histogram for our variable of weight, you'll see that this is our output that comes out. So on the left, I have the frequencies with the statistics that show the number valid, 175, the number missing, which is 0, yay! Then we have the mean value, the median value, the standard deviation value, the range, and then the 3 percentiles. So the 25th, 50th, and 75th percentile, which are equivalent to the first quartile, which would be the 1/4 mark, the 50th percent, which is also the median value, which is the 1/2 of the data set mark, and then the 75th percentile is the same as the 3/4 quartile. So that's just what that means there. In this case, I also unchecked the display frequency table. So that table that shows the number who responded with each response and the percent did not appear in the output, but we do have a histogram, so that would come after those statistics. And here, this is just showing the number that responded with each different weight at birth in grams. And then along the right side of that table is the mean, standard deviation, and the number in the sample size.